no decisive progress on Brexit, Barnier. EU Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier says no decisive progress has been made on key issues, in the latest round of talks with the UK. He said the two sides were quite far away from being in a position to begin talks on future trade arrangements. But UK Brexit Secretary David Davis urged the EU to be more imaginative and flexible in its approach. He said in his opinion there had been some concrete progress during the third round of talks in Brussels. Impatient, not angry. During a joint press conference, Mr. Barnier acknowledged there had been some fruitful discussions on the issues surrounding the relationship between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, but he struck a pessimistic tone overall. He claimed the UK did not feel legally obliged to honor its obligations after leaving the bloc in March 2019. He also stressed that he was impatient. "I am not angry. I am impatient and determined about the progress of negotiations." Analysis by BBC Europe correspondent Kevin Connolly. Behind their polished podium performances, it's clear there are major gaps between the stance of Michel Barnier and David Davis which are not being bridged. Money is the big sticking point, of course, although the phraseology around the issue is a little more elegant than that, and the language at these moments can give you a real feel for the underlying atmosphere. Mr. Barnier says that after this week it's clear that the UK doesn't feel legally obliged to honor its obligations. Mr. Davis claims it's natural that the UK would want to interrogate rigorously any demand placed on its taxpayers. But he is also careful to note that Britain is a country that meets its obligations, moral as well as legal, it just expects them to be properly specified. Read more. But Mr. Davis said more flexibility was needed to get a good deal for both sides. Beyond the debates about process and technicalities, at the heart of this process, must be a desire to deliver the best outcome for the people and the businesses of the European Union and the United Kingdom, he added, particularly on citizens' rights. The UK wants to begin trade talks as soon as possible, but Brussels insists that discussions about the future relationship after Brexit can only begin once sufficient progress has been made on the arrangements for withdrawal, including on the so-called divorce fee. Mr. Barnier said that at the current rate of progress, he was quite far from being able to recommend opening parallel talks on a future trade relationship with the UK. He cited two areas where trust needed to be built between the two sides, on citizens' rights and the financial settlement, stressing that 27 members of the bloc should not have to pay for obligations taken by 28. Claiming there had been a shift in the UK government's approach, he said, in July the UK recognized that it has obligations beyond the Brexit date, but this week the UK explained that these obligations will be limited to the last payment to the EU project before departure. No figure has yet been put on the payment, but European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker has suggested it could come in at around €60 billion, £55 billion, while unconfirmed reports have put it as high as €100 billion, £92 billion.